Let a few more people trickle in. Should move this back a little bit, probably. So we're both in the front. God, Gavin Rush just joined. Hudson Grandma. Shootfoot and Bodie Poland. No, that's, I don't know if that's Caden Spade. It says we're at 5 people, so alright. Well, good enough. What's going on, guys? This is Dean Barker and Ross Barker. I don't know why I just did that. But we are back for episode 12 of the Rocktown Rundown. We're going to be joined by Matt House later today. So we're going to talk about the championship series to this point, predictions moving forward, and we're going to talk to Matt about his time at Shenandoah, and we're just going to talk. So let's do a little. I mean, we don't have standings to look at, but let's look. So we did a rundown after the to the semifinals. We talked to Corbin Lucas earlier in this week. So right now we're going to talk a little bit about everything else that happened in the championship series. So game 1. It was looking like the Reds, it was a pitcher's duel. Chris Huffman got the loss, but good grief, he struck out 11. Yeah. So that was very impressive. It was solid pitching. Cam Commons took a no-hitter into the 4th inning. And then, he gave up 2 there, and then, Bodie Poland drove in 2 in the 5th, I believe it was. And then the floodgates just came open for that Shockers team.
Yeah. It was not expected for them to win that badly at the Reds' home field.
Yeah. The Reds, it's not as hard of a place to play as the Bucks, and I know somebody's going to get upset with me saying that. But, it's a hard place to play. And for the Shockers to go in there and beat them by 6, goodness gracious.
However, speaking of hard places to play, the Shockers field is not an easy place to play either.
Well, it's hard to play there physically because, the dimensions and everything.
Yeah. It's hard to hit home runs there, but the Reds...
They did it twice.
They did it twice. Both back-to-back.
Noah Cornwell and Chris Huffman. Yeah, those guys did it. The Shockers tried to make a comeback. They tried really hard. Caden Spade did a solid job in relief, but
they were only able to...
That 5-run deficit was just too much for them to overcome. And then, let's see, we had off Thursday, and then last night, it was essentially all Shockers.
Yeah.
That was, Mason Lynn, a guy who really didn't get a lot of action in the regular season, started for the Shockers and was 1 out away from qualifying for the win.
And Joe Christopher got his first loss of the year.
Yeah. The thing is, with the Reds team, the 2 big names have been Derek Shiflett and Chris Huffman on the mound. That's kind of allowed Joe Christopher to slide under the radar. But he was undefeated in the regular season, and then if you include the quarterfinals and the semifinals, he was 6-0. He came in last night. He didn't do bad. I think he struck out 6, but the Shockers were hitting the ball. It was Frankie Ritter and Luke Keister they were like, as I said in the interview, they were like the Bash Bros. So I think that was surprising. Looking ahead to tonight,
they're playing at Spotswood tonight.
Yeah. Honestly, with the Shockers being up 2-1 right now, I say Shockers win tonight. I say they're winning it.
Yeah, you can't sleep on any of these teams in the league.
Well, not even you can't sleep on them, but you get down in a 3-1 hole.
You're gonna have to do a lot. You're gonna have to do a lot to get yourself out.
Here's the thing. This series has followed the line of the 2019 World Series, where the home team has not won a single game yet. It's been... The Shockers' home game was the closest game we've seen all season from these 2 teams. It was 2 runs. That game was in the Reds' control. I'll just say. The Shockers tried, but they just couldn't. You left 7 runners on base. You're not going to get it done. But last night, the Reds left 14 runners on base, and they left the bases loaded, I think, 3 times. That is a recipe for disaster. you leave the bases loaded, you're not going to get it done. And they were within 3 runs. They had the winning run at the plate in Jordan Yankee with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, but they didn't get it done. Reds got to get it done tonight, or they're looking elimination right in the face.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm the Reds right now, if I'm Coach Sherfy, I'm saying, look, we got to step it up.
Yeah,
we still got 2 games. We still got some games we can fall back on, but we need.
Yeah. I wonder who they're throwing tonight. Could it be Peak? Maybe Jared Peak, or they might just go right back to Huffman.
Yeah, it was like, as I was saying, you can't keep falling back on games. Like you're gonna have to get it done.
And it's been surprising because the Reds, throughout the playoffs, I mean, they played Elton the first series, so that was fairly easy for them. Granados they held their own more or less, but yeah, that was the Reds series.
Yes.
The Shockers, on the other hand, have been. I say they were 3 versus 6. They swept the Diamondbacks, who they defeated for the championship in 2021. And they had probably the series of the year to this point in the semifinals with the Bucks. We couldn't tell who was going to win that game. I mean, it looked like. I mean, even late in that, we couldn't tell who was going to win that series.
Even in the 9th inning, it looked like the Bucks might have had.
They brought the tying run to the plate. They got a little bit of energy going. Coyce Quintanilla had hit a home run, I think, a few nights before.
They just weren't able to pull it out.
Yeah.
And then after that game, we had Kevin Chandler on the interview, and he
go watch that Kevin Chandler interview if you haven't already. I expect the Bucks are probably going to make it to the show.
It reminded me of that one picture in 2021, like in January 2021, of Stephon Diggs after the Bills lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I expect. I mean, the Bucks had a very solid year. They didn't get it. They were very close to getting it done in the semifinals. If you go watch that video with Kevin Chandler interview at the end of the year, you'll see why I say the Bucks are probably going to go to the championship this year. I had never seen him like that. I mean, even after losses, most of the coaches come over. I mean, he wasn't rude or anything, but it was like you could tell he was really upset with how that game went.
Yeah.
All right, well,
we got Matt House on here.
You didn't come on here to listen to us, although I think you should because we're the best thing that's ever happened in this league. Joking. Here we go. Matt House will be on any second now.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
I see you got that playoff beard action going.
It's more just laziness at this point.
Yeah. Once the season's over, we were just talking about the Bucks. We're going to need to head over to Kevin Nevada's place and get trimmed off.
My bad, I'm being attacked here by a dog.
We love dogs. We love dogs.
Hey, that's a Bernie.
Hey, he's a beast. His name's Chase. CJ's dog. My bad.
Well, so give us a little bit of a background. Who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing on our show? Who is Matt House?
So I'm originally from Ashburn, Virginia. I went to Stonebridge High School, and then right before my senior year, I came to a camp at Shenandoah, talked with Coach A, immediately fell in love with everything about Shenandoah, and then Chase. And now I'm just still there. I mean, going into my 6th year. I got to thank Henry Delaverne for being the reason I'm even playing for RCBL. I know he, right before, it was like middle of the spring, my sophomore year, and he was like talking about the Shockers and everything, and I was like, well, I want to be a part of that. He was talking about how much fun it is, and all the hype. It lived up to the hype for sure.
What year are you right now?
I'm going into my 6th year, so yeah.
You're gonna be a super duper senior.
Yeah, basically.
Super weak junior. All right. So let's see. You got involved. How long have you been with the Shockers?
This is my 4th season.
Okay. So you were a part of. This guy's been a part of all. You were there when they went to the championship in 2020.
Yep. That was my 1st season.
All right. Comments right now. Somebody
Matt,
said that you tried to order a martini at McDonald's last night.
Oh my gosh.
So, other than like like,
Sorry, what was that? You were breaking in and out.
what's it been like playing for the Shockers?
Oh, so much fun. I've loved all of it. Even times when we're not doing too well, losing games, I still having fun with the guys. I mean, just every person on the team is just always bringing a positive attitude and just always trying to have a good time and still win the game and still play the game the right way.
Yeah, we've gotten to guys a lot even winning games, but I think Shockers some of our best interviews props.
Sorry, what was, I can't hear you. My bad.
You're good. Matt House didn't shower since the American. I can
Ignore everything that Johnny says. Johnny doesn't know anything.
smell on his wins because recently the Sharks are hot, as you guys have said, Shocks are hot. You came in, you were in the third season, went right through the Diamondbacks. Talk a little bit about that series you had with the Bucks. As we said, that was one of the better playoff series in years.
All around, top to bottom, they're just very good. I mean, there's no weak spot with them. So every time you play them, you got to bring your A game. So I gotta give the props to them for making it a very hard one. But it was a great series. We just had to stick to our plan and make sure that we didn't give them make any mistakes to give them a better chance of winning. And we knew we had to basically play perfect.
One of the things playing perfect, you haven't played perfect exactly. I mean, you've gotten down a lot. This team has 16 or so two-out run in this championship series. And you had I think all of your runs were scored with outs on last Sunday. So, I mean, how has this team been able to do that? I mean, you get it with two outs, but we should have had.
Yeah, I mean, it's just based on the situation. I mean, guys know that even if you come up and guys right before you got two quick outs, you can still spark something just like that, whether you hit a double in the gap or just getting on base. Like, it's just always trying to constantly get on base and move it on to the next guy. My bad. I'm sorry. CJ's Wi-Fi is. I'm better off going to McDonald's down the street.
Are you going to order another martini there?
Yeah, I've never even done that. So now I can hear you.
Someone called you a 14th grader. All right, let's just who is that? We're just going to ignore him unless he puts something else. And it's not even correct.
Huh?
We're just going to let him go.
Yeah.
So, and blow up the comment. With that team of all but one Shenandoah players in 2021, you won. You came in, you had just narrowly missed going to the NCAA tournament, and then you didn't get it done, and then you came in, Pop said you guys were really upset with how that season ended. Having technical difficulties right now. He said CJ Wi-Fi. He said he would rather go to McDonald's.
Did you hear me?
You just froze for like 30 seconds there. So, what was the mentality you guys took to win that championship in 2021 with a lot of with a lot of Hornets from Shenandoah who had just narrowly missed going to the tournament?
Well, I mean, it was just wanting to get the job done. I mean, we came in like pretty upset, obviously. Like every game it doesn't matter what if regular season playoffs, we're just always going out trying to win the game. trying to win every single game that we play. So I mean, it's just the mindset never changes. Like it doesn't matter what implications the game is. We're always trying to play the best that we possibly can and win the game as easily as possible.
You had a solid season. They had a solid season. Super Region lost to Lynchburg, who ended up winning today. He's going to be a with the Sockers, you didn't get it done in the play. It was a first round exit. So, what was the mentality coming after that?
I mean, it was rough. But it's honestly just sticking with the same thing. You gotta like put it past you, learn from it. You just gotta continue learning from what you did wrong or what had happened. That you just try to not make that mistake again and try to just continue winning games, winning every pitch, every inning, and just try to just strive to continue being better.
Get better, and you can't make mistakes. And if you're still making the mistake of not going to Finn Irene Farms in Bluegrass,
We haven't
Virginia,
even gone there yet.
Weeks ago, the official sponsor of the Rocktown Rundown, they got apple sauce, they got apple cider, they got apple dumplings, they got apple juice, you get apple eggs. Okay, yeah, they just don't have apple products, but which is probably where you need to head down to Bluegrass, Virginia. They got apples, and I'll be delivering for them this fall. They just got apples and apples and apples. The best. The absolute best. I've had that applesauce.
The absolute best.
The apple.
I don't think I've had applesauce in like 10 years, but I'll break the streak for that.
What else do we got? So talk about the series. I mean, did you guys? I mean, too.
Sorry, you're breaking in and out. I'm trying to find a spot in the house where you're not breaking in and out. I'm sorry. I'm going to give CJ so much crap for this after. My bad. I can hear you now.
What's it like? What's it been like dog sitting?
I mean, it's been good so far. I'm low-key allergic to dogs, so, like, I've been trying to pet them too much. But, I mean, everything's going well. I'm not having a problem.
Just get your immune system. Dog. I thought that.
Well, hopefully it's not too big of an issue.
You're gonna doctor the ball with dog germs.
Sorry, still didn't hear you.
You're gonna doctor the ball with the dog germs.
Hang on. Hang on. I might be able to hear you now.
All right. So, what's the key to the surge on the mound? And then you got to win last night.
It's seeing that this was just so difficult. I'm not kidding you. This has got to be perfect. Like, you can't hang it to this person because you're about to get whiplash if you do. Like, 1 through 9, they can all hit. I mean, even to end the game last night, I left the cutter up, and off the bat, I was like, oh no. Like, I mean, they can all hit, and they all make it really difficult. So I got to make sure every pitch that I throw, I got to be perfect with it, even though obviously I'm not, but it's the mentality of trying to be.
That's what I covered. That's one thing I was asked. Dave Riggert asked me at the beginning of the series, what's going to be the key to this series? I said it's going to be patience. It's going to be resiliency, because there are going to be times you guys have gotten punched in the mouth a few times. That was one of those. you got punched in the mouth when you went down 2-0. Hitting on about hard to get hit and keep forward. And I think whoever does that is going to win.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what you got to do. I mean, it's baseball. You're gonna fail more times than not. So you got to try to win it and just move on if you do. I can't hear you. Oh my gosh. TJ's getting an earful after this. I'm so sorry. I'm trying everything. I even was hovering over the router.
We were saying the Wi-Fi looked
I'm gonna literally sit in CJ's room if I have to. All right.
yeah. All right, then. Looking ahead, you've got tonight. If you guys go ahead tonight, I mean, anything can happen, but if you guys win this game tonight, most likely you'll win the championship. So a lot could, but if you lose, you're giving Bridgewater a lot of energy, and they're going back to their place.
So what is the mentality going into this game and getting the win and upping your momentum over the Reds?
It's just honestly just taking this as if it were an elimination game because we can't let them even out the series. Like we can't let them gain an advantage. Like we got to make sure we keep the momentum and make sure we win the next two games. But at the same time, they're a very good team. So we're gonna have to bring our A++ game because any mistakes we make, they are going to capitalize on it. So we got to make sure we're doing a good job on all three phases.
Yeah. They have won 2 games and then they in the championship. So I mean, you've played the Reds. I mean, you knew. I mean, with the Bucks, I think the Bucks won the regular series. The Reds, you split right down the middle. You even split home field advantage right down the middle. It was 1-1 at your place, 1-1 at their place. Your mom said good luck.
Thanks.
So what's it been like playing against this team who, as we said, they're the defending champions and they won the regular season? What's it been like up against these Reds?
What's what?
What's it been like going Reds? Because we said regular season.
I mean, they're doing what I got to avoid doing what Kyle mentioned is hanging change-ups. But, yeah, I mean, it's always back and forth with them, but anyone can win at any point. I mean, someone could put up 10 in the first inning, and we know that either side's still going to battle to the end. So we know that we got to just try to win every pitch and make sure we do our best to not let them gain any momentum.
Yeah, so for those who weren't in the league, Ross wasn't in the league back then, but 2 years ago, you also faced Reds in the semifinals. You won that series. It was a clean sweep. At the same time, all 3 of those games were close. The first one, they took a lead to go up early. Second one, they took a lead, and you guys were up 14-8 going into the bottom of the 9th. And Gray Sherfy's ball to the right side, inches away from getting through and being the walk-off with the lead. But I think it was Dawson Russell at second base, if I remember correctly, made probably the play of the year to stop that. And then the same thing happened the next day. You guys won by 2, but they made a comeback in the knockout. So, I mean, not just this year, but over the years, this Reds team, even when they were the 7th seed that year, has been very competitive. They've got.
Yeah, even that series was still a very competitive series, and most people on paper probably would have been like, "Oh, 2-7," but we knew going in that it was going to be a good series. Like we still didn't take them lightly, and there were still 3 close games, as you said.
It was actually 1-7. Surprisingly,
yeah.
Rivalry, Bucks and the Reds had another meeting in 21, and to shock everybody, the Reds swept the Bucks in the quarterfinals. So that of course, a lot of people. Let's talk about that. A lot of people were looking forward to seeing Bucks and the Reds for the championship. I'm sure you can understand why. You guys spoiled it. How did that feel?
I mean, like, honestly, I don't know how. I personally didn't really. I assumed, but like, I didn't really like hear much. And then like, as like we got closer to the playoffs, it was like, okay, yeah, it seems like everyone wants that. But obviously, we're trying to win it all, and the Reds are gonna make it tough. But we're just happy that we were able to get past the Bucks. They're a very good team, as I said earlier, and all throughout their lineup, and they make it very difficult. And we're just fortunate enough to get by, and now we just try and finish out against the Reds.
So let's talk about Shenandoah really quick. So yeah, this will be your 6th year at Shenandoah.
We had Corbin Lucas on the week, also a Shenandoah Red.
And 2 years ago, there was only one guy on your team who was not playing with Shenandoah, and you guys have had a very, very long history of going far in the playoffs. So talk about your experiences with Shenandoah, how you got there, and how that's carried over to the Shockers.
I definitely got to thank Coach A for all that he's taught every single person that's gone through that program. I mean, that man knows. You think you know ball, and then you show up your freshman year, and you're like, wow, like I didn't even think about the game that way. There's a lot of things that he teaches you that as you get older in the program, you then got to teach it to the younger guys. So just teaching it to the younger guys, once you go to other teams, then you can then teach the other guys, like, hey, like, this is what we were taught. Like, you can completely ignore me if you want, but like, this is like what we feel like is like the best thing we should do. And then even the guys that don't go to Shenandoah, they come into the Shockers and they'll be like, okay, I can't do this in this situation. I can do this in this situation. And they like take that along, and they've been very successful this summer. And it's been great to see guys that coming in and didn't go to Shenandoah, and now we're all friends. Like, it's always a great time being around the guys. And honestly, the reason why it kind of makes the drive a little worth it, because it's a hike getting down there. But
yeah, for the last portion of the 2021 season, let me tell you, that championship game drive to Storage Draft was a night.
Now, I had just moved into the apartment with him that day. I got there at like 2 o'clock, and then he starts saying something about, hey, we got to go to a game an hour and a half away. And I was like, yo, I just finished packing everything.
yeah, Stewart's Draft's always the hike. That one's like, all right, who's driving? And then everyone's just like quiet looking at each other like, all right.
Newmarket Shockers at the time, now the RCBL Washington football team Shockers, have a team playing.
Have what?
You don't have your own team plane or even a bus?
No, we need something. We need talk to Potts about that.
Yeah, this league. That is one thing about this league. I mean, it's very competitive. It is not money heavy. Like you see,
these coaches don't get paid.
The coaches don't get paid. We don't even get paid.
No.
So it's a lot of guys working. I mean, it's volunteer work. A lot of it. I don't even know. I think the umpires get a little bit.
And they get paid up.
Maybe we should air, because now I was like, well, I can 25 extra.
My checking account's not gonna allow me to spare $1, so I ain't doing any of that.
So you've been with the Shockers for 4 years. Pops has been with them playing days. What's it been like seeing this program be like when you got here on championship day? But you've been a part of building that program up to where it is now, where you could be possibly have a championship.
I mean, it's just seeing the guys go through, and it's just cool to see like guys that are older than me, like CJ and Henry, like first starting out with them, and then now we got a bunch of high schoolers and young guys that are just getting to college now, and it's just cool like being able to like just saying like stories of like funny things that had happened in like previous years of the Shockers, and just telling them about like stuff like that, and like it's just cool seeing like pretty much just teaching all the younger kids too, like Oh, okay. You did this in this situation, like you want to make sure, like because of it, like just teaching them too, like watching them grow and get better. Like that's really what it's cool to see to me. Like I I I remember like being like that. You know what I mean? Like I was that kid that would come in like sophomore year or like yeah, before my sophomore year and be hanging out with all the older kids and like it's like I see what they see. You know what I mean?
So going off of that, been to 4 years, you have a chance for the second one, which would be 3 years. You're right around. We're talking about. I mean, and then you start winning a few more. We're talking about a dynasty with this Shockers team. I mean, you're 2 games away. I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but opportunity this program. What's it like? What is that opportunity like for this team?
I mean, it's a great opportunity. It is nice, but at the same time, it doesn't mean the job's done. That you still gotta make sure you do your job and make sure that you're not yeah you're playing your best game every single game.
Matt, they'll be slept on. Yeah, D3 guys don't get a lot of looks from scouts.
Not happening. I'll be. It's my friends from high school.
He said I put Matt's basketball in the mountains, though.
Ryan's first time playing baseball this year. Ryan, anytime.
Yeah. All right. So, we talk about your job? What is your job moving forward? Because you pitched last night. You had a duel with Joe Christopher, who, as we said earlier in the show, was undefeated until this Shockers offense got to him. That was surprising. What's the job tonight?
Whatever. Show up to the field and see on the lineup. I don't know what Potts has. But I just no. I have no idea. Just showing up.
Y'all better not be sleeping on my boy. We brought him. I mean, I think he's talking about the Reds. Yeah, just anybody. I know the fans, the players. So we're not gonna keep you all the time because we know that dog's gonna cause chaos downstairs.
Yeah, thankfully he's been quiet, which I hope that doesn't mean he's chewing on something.
Out of this apartment once this whole so looking ahead to tonight, big opportunity to go up 2-1. No home team has won yet. It's been almost exactly like the 2019 World Series where my Nationals won without winning a home game.
Yeah.
So looking ahead, how do you get it done at home tonight and break that streak?
We just got to be aggressive early. We got to try to get the lead quick and then just keep them from scoring. I mean, if we get on them quick, I mean, it's with any team. You get on them quick and keep them from scoring early. You'll keep them down and then add a few more, and then by next thing you know, it's 6-7. You're up 6-7, but he's just trying to do that. I know they're going to be trying to do the same thing to us, so it just comes down to who can execute.
Ross, what do you got? I think we've got. All right. Looking forward to tonight's game. It could be 2 versus 2 or 3-1. We're going to find out. At House, thank you for being on the show, buddy.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
See ya.